Give me the argument, the best argument you know, for the power of cinema.
You know who's underrated?
No.
Roddy Rich.
I'll wait for another.
You wait as long as you want. I'm telling you right now, he's underrated.
He's a hit maker.
Yeah. That's all that matters.
Alright. You're one of those.
You want one of those albums that you want an album nowadays?
He's one of them.
No.
No.
You don't go. There's no one that makes albums now. Albums don't make you money.
Money makes you money.
What's better than a good old Dr. Pepper?
Gotta get a scoop of vanilla ice cream in that bad boy.
Do they have sugar-free ice cream?
Yeah, I'm sure. They have like the Halo tops.
But do they make like diet Baskin Robbins? Like no sugar,
They have to.
aspartame.
They have to.
But I never see that.
They have to.
I do see the Halo tops. They use like stevia or whatever. But sort of stupid that there's no aspartame. Baskin Robbins or anything like
They have to.
that. What's your favorite Baskin Robbins? Because you're a connoisseur, because you get them shipped to your house, don't you?
I used to.
Fiend.
There's nothing more regal than getting ice cream shipped to your house.
That's pretty true.
I don't know. I just got whatever. Like, I think Chunky Monkey's pretty top tier because there's nothing really like it anywhere else.
It has like dark chocolate, cherries.
It's banana. I don't think there's cherries.
Do you
There's one where like they have cores. Have you had those?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
Those are good because it's like.
It's like a cookie, right?
Yeah.
Like a cookie core
Yeah.
of whatever core flavor
Yeah.
you get.
Those are cool because there's
Yeah.
like nothing else like that.
Those are really good. If you're like a guy that is like a cookie and cream guy, you'll love cores.
Yeah.
Because then you could say like, it doesn't have to be Oreos, it could be something else.
I appreciate how you can. I appreciate foods where you can choose how you eat it, like that. Like you could get like straight in the middle, get an all core bite, or you could get like a smidgen of core and then more ice cream.
Yeah.
It's like you can.
So you like the yogurts with like the fruit at the bottom?
Yeah.
Do you like those?
Like you can freestyle how you
Yeah.
eat. That kind of soda fries if you don't mix it, and it's like sectioned ish. Just get like, I want a little more sour cream in this bite.
Yeah.
And it's like you're eating your way.
I like that, but I hate sharing foods that give you that ability. Like all foods that are like that, they are not meant to be shared. Because then they mess with your ratio dividends. Because you're like, okay, my goal here is to do it the way I want it.
Because you have like different philosophies of.
Yes, and then someone comes in and like, they grab a scoop of sour cream and you're like, well now I can't do what I had in mind. My game plan's off.
In 5 bites, I was gonna do something. And you
That was
ruined
critical to my next bite. And now I can't execute on that plan.
Yeah. Like if you're gonna share, you have to. That's when you mix it or something like that, where it's.
Yeah, as soon as you know you have to share, start mixing that bad boy up. Yeah, because then the whole game plan's off.
Cause, yeah, it's like meeting halfway. Like it's already ruined. I might as well elevate it.
Ruin it for both of us.
In a way, yeah, but still not beyond repair ruined.
You know what is bad is that, like, that there's toppings that come on food that can't be microwaved because once they're microwaved, it's nasty. Like guacamole.
Yeah.
Like you can't just put your carne asada fries in the microwave and just reheat
Or
it.
even like oven.
Yep. You have to scoop it off, put it in, take it out, put it back on. It's too much work.
What I do mentally, I just tell myself it's a different meal now, you know, and say like, what I had before is different. Now it's like completely baked. Now it's baked guacamole.
Ugh.
And if you mix it a little bit, it's still good. Like you just got to get out of your head.
Really?
Yeah. It's a mental game.
So why not put guacamole on pizza?
Why not?
Oh no.
Why not?
Here we go.
What's stopping you?
Ow! Yowzer.
You make like a sauce.
Yeah.
Carne asada fried pizza.
No.
But,
It can't be that.
Yeah. Listen.
Okay.
No tomato sauce. But
Okay.
every like guacamole, it's like a 7-layer dip.
Uh-huh.
But you do put like maybe a guacamole under.
What's the pizza part? I'm so confused.
I don't know. My mind was. I got too cocky.
I had a pizza last night, but it wasn't a pizza. It was spaghetti. So it's like all the pizza toppings, including the sauce, but on top of spaghetti. And it was delicious. What's your opinions on that? Sauce, cheese.
I don't like pasta. It's too like straight up bread.
That's the best part about it.
Uh,
Like, don't you want to just stuff your face with carbs one day?
I'd rather have like a pizza. I'd rather have bread than pasta.
Yeah.
Like lasagna is the best in that realm because you get like a ton of meat and then sauce and cheese.
Yeah.
It's a better ratio.
Yeah. If it's executed right, you'll get like, on every bite, you get like 50% cheese, 25% meat. No, sorry. 40% cheese, 20% meat, 20% sauce, 20% noodles in your mouths.
But like straight up spaghetti.
God. Coordination, bro.
Straight up spaghetti. And then just like ketchup or like something.
Ketchup? I'm not an animal.
But like, that's what kids eat.
Yeah.
It's like, I would never eat that.
But you would eat spaghetti and meatballs. What's the difference?
I would need at least like 50% of it to be meatballs.
Oh.
I don't want like 3 meatballs on the side.
Right. Because that's the key to staying full, is having enough protein. That's the bad thing about like pasta. Like you eat a bowl of pasta, and then it has like a little bit of meat on it, and you eat it. Same thing with pizza. Like you're like, oh, that's full. I'm full now. 3 hours later, you're like, I'm starving. And that's bad because I just had 3,000 carbs.
3,000.
3,000 calories of carbs. Anyways, great little pre-show right there. We'll put that on the Patreon and charge $20 for that.
I'll buy it.
NFT?
I'm not buying it.
Okay. Let's do this. Ready?
Yeah.
Nostrils flaring. It's like revving engines almost. Olas. Olas?
No.
That's how you know you don't speak Spanish.
Hola.
Hola, mis compañeros y mis compañeras, amigos y amigos. Welcome, everybody, to Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name's Ivan.
And we're back, Ivan. Another episode of Peliculas with the Bros. Let's get
Indeed.
into it.
Indeed.
Today we're doing the 1993 film
Robin Hood. Men in Tights.
Yes, correct. Because we are continuing on with the Mel Brooks filmography miniseries, where we go down a deep, dark hole of what is Mel Brooks' films. We've done plenty of Mel Brooks films so far. You can check out the back catalog for that. We're on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere you can listen to us podcast-wise. We're there, and we're on YouTube, so you can watch us there. Might as well just say, please hit the subscribe button if you like learning about movies. by two guys that don't know anything about movies.
I think we know more than most.
Yes, that is true. That is very true, actually. I do have like
Ego.
Yeah, I do have an ego when it comes to movies when I talk to people that don't know anything about movies.
It's the worst.
It's so good, though. I love it.
I do, but I have one when people take it too seriously. Like, they're like, this is pure cinema.
But what if they're right?
Even then, like,
Okay.
I don't want... We've talked about this, but taking anything too seriously.
Yes.
That's when it's annoying. I'd rather talk to the guy who's like, oh, yeah, I saw Transformers 3 for the first time yesterday. That's the guy I want to talk to.
What about the guy that says, oh, I saw a great movie the other day, and you're like, what movie? And they're like, that new Michael Bay movie on Netflix. It was so good.
Those are tough.
I love talking to those kind of people. Because I'm like, you know that you chuckle and you laugh with your chest, and you just look at them and like, oh, tell me what was so good about that movie.
In those instances,
that's what I love.
If I don't see them, I don't say anything. Like, if I haven't seen the movie, I'm like, oh, I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things, like something like that. But if I have and I don't think it's that good, and they think it's good, I'll be like, I'll look at the bright side and say like parts I liked, because there's always like a part in a movie.
So but you won't tell them like, you won't just annihilate.
You're wrong.
You won't.
No.
That's why I love being the snob.
No, I wouldn't do that.
That is why snobs get a bad rap, huh?
Yeah, because they tell people what to like. It's tough.
It is sort of bad, right? Because then, honestly, to be honest, if we're having an honest conversation right now,
I hope we are.
It sort of makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I'm like, it's a unwinnable battle. When someone's like, this movie is great, and I know it's not great, so I try to convince them, and they're like, you're just a snob. And then I get left on a ditch on a corner. And I can't win. Because, like, you can't... When you're coming at it with a snob angle, you never win. But that's all I know.
Yeah.
I think it's better to come at it with your angle, and then at the end just be like, but there's some faults to it. And they're like, what do you mean? And then you can sort of educate
it
them.
out.
Yeah.
The infographic.
Oh, man. Movies are art is such a weird thing. Because then it's like, when you're dealing with someone that doesn't know a lot about it, you have to
scale yourself down.
Yeah. Or else you just come off as a snob. But even like when I was watching, even before I knew what like quote unquote good movies were,
yeah,
I think I still knew what good movies were.
Yeah, taste is what you're saying.
Yeah, like 10 years ago, before we started this podcast, I knew what was like trash and what wasn't.
Yeah.
Like we watched Green Lantern together, and I was like, yeah, that movie was bad.
Yeah. But there's redeeming qualities. I would have to rewatch it, and I'd be like, oh, that was a cool scene, or something like that.
That'd be such a weird movie to rewatch.
Yeah.
It's such a one-off.
Yeah. Like a little pimple on the side of DC universe.
They have a lot of pimples on the side of their universe.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, we're talking about the movie Robin Hood Men in Tights. Like I said, this is Peliculas with the Bros. It's a podcast where me and my brother Evan talk about movies that we love, movies that we like, and we're doing a Mel Brooks filmography miniseries. And today we're doing Robin Hood Men in Tights. Next week we're gonna do the last film for Mel Brooks, and then we'll move on to a new director. But for now, let's talk about Robin Hood Men in Tights. Ivan, this movie came out in 1993.
Wowzers.
Top 10 movies of that year. Ready? Cliffhanger. I've told you to watch that movie. We should watch it. At number 9, Schindler's List. Number 8, The Pelican Brief. 7, In the Line of Fire. 6, Indecent Proposal. 5, a great movie, Sleepless in Seattle. Have you seen Sleepless in Seattle? 4, The Firm. 3, The Fugitive. Wow. Simple names. Number 2, it's a big one, Miss Doubtfire.
At 2?
At 2.
Disgusting.
Ivan, let's take a guess for number 1, 1993. I think we've done this year before, but you're still going to get it wrong. Number 1, it's a franchise. It's directed by one of the greatest directors.
Star Wars.
1993, bro. Get your years right, man.
Spielberg.
One of the greatest directors. You would consider George Lucas one of the greatest directors?
That's a topic for another day.
That is a weird, quote, or sorry, because he has 4 films.
And they're all...
Or, no, he has 6 films, but... Anyways, number 1, film of 1993, one of the greatest directors. One more clue.
Godfather.
What?
Godfather.
1993? Which Godfather?
3.
Good. At least that's a good guess. Last clue is one of the lead actors was in Thor Ragnarok as a supporting cast member.
Oh, Silence of the Lambs.
Good guess.
Trash.
Very good guess. But you're on the right track as far as thinking of those supporting actors. You're doing good. Keep going.
I don't know.
Another guess. Let's see. Another clue. Sorry. One of the actors. Oh, I could
say it.
No, you won't. No, sorry.
Trash.
The movie has the word "park" in its title.
Central Park 5.
And it deals with
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yes.
What actor was I thinking about?
I have no. Oh, Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. It's funny because this movie actually has 2 characters or 2 actors that were in Thor Ragnarok.
That's weird.
Jeff Goldblum and the lead actor of Jurassic Park, which was the guy that played. Remember when they did a little play in the beginning of Thor?
Mm-hmm.
And the father of what's his name?
Odin?
Odin was played by the guy that was in.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I know the other guy was Matt Damon.
Yeah. Wasn't that Thor? Matt Damon was.
Yeah.
Thor? Yeah.
No, or Loki. Loki.
Oh, okay. That's what I was gonna give you as a hint, but I was like, I don't even know the guy's name. So.
Yeah.
Top movie of the year, Jurassic Park. 350 million. Beats out Mrs. Doubtfire number 2 by 130 million.
Saucy.
Robin Hood Men in Tights. This is the premise. Robin of Locksley escapes imprisonment and returns to England to find out that Prince John has levied heavy taxes on the people, unlike Columbia, or like Columbia. On top of that, the prince has taken his father's land. Robin recruits his merry men and embarks on a mission to oust Prince John from the throne while falling in love with Maid Marian, a lady set to marry the slimy Sheriff of Rockingham. With the cast of Carrie Ells, or Elwes, as Robin Hood, I don't know how to say his name, Richard Lewis as Prince John, Roger Rees as Sheriff of Rottingham, Amy Yazbek as Maid Marian, Dave Chappelle as a Chew.
Bless you.
Like that. Mark Blankfeld as Blinken and Eric Allen Kramer as Little John. This is Robin Hood Men in Tights. And we'll get into this movie right after this quick, oh so quick, break. Ivan, is this the first time you've watched Robin Hood Men in Tights?
I've probably seen a third of it in my time before this.
Yeah, they showed it a lot on TV. And I've seen this multiple times because of that. It was on cable, back when cable was a thing. But back then I didn't know that the great Mel Brooks directed this beautiful film.
Mm-hmm.
But after watching it, I was like, yeah, I should have known that this was Mel Brooks. Because now I see the little things that Mel likes to do, you know?
The Mel cinematic universe.
Oh, man. Everyone has a cinematic universe. No one is greater than Mel's cinematic universe. I do get this movie confused with Princess of the Bride, though.
Yes.
The Princess
Yes.
Bride, right? Because of the
Yes.
main actor that's in it.
Yes.
And sort of like the similar setting, time, a little bit almost even like the similar plot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've always got like scenes confused.
Yep.
You've seen The Princess Bride?
A lot of parts of it, but not all the way through once.
It's a great movie. It is a better movie than this one.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about it later. Going into this movie though, Ivan, what were you expecting?
I thought this would be a little more of a hit. Like, it was good, but I thought it would be like, this is gonna be like top 3.
Uh-huh.
I guess.
Why?
Well,
What gave you that feeling?
It felt like it had that sort of respect to it, considering what I've heard about it and everything I've seen people say about it.
I felt the same way in the sense of like I was expecting, even though I've already watched it, I was expecting like this is a sort of a comeback.
More of a comedy classic I was expecting, but like
Oh, okay.
closer to Blazing Saddles classic.
Gotcha.
Or like timeless forever.
Yes. And it's not wrong to say it's not a classic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not wrong to say
I know what you
it's a
mean.
classic.
Yeah.
But maybe and I think we agree it's not.
It's a lesser classic.
It's a lesser classic.
Yeah.
It is a return to form for our great guy, Brooksy Brooks, Melly Mel. But it's not a return to top of his form.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after Life Stinks. Life Stinks was bad. It stinked.
It stank.
It stink. But all in all, what'd you think?
It was good.
It was good?
It's a good movie.
Did you feel like it was out of date? Do you feel like it's 1993, Mel finally got with the times, or what makes, I guess what I'm trying to ask is like, what makes it a better movie than his previous films? Is he like, what did he change in his arsenal, you think?
I don't know. I'd have to watch again with that question in mind to be
Uh-huh.
more precise. But it did feel a little better overall. Like it wasn't completely it wasn't completely jokes I've heard before. Like
Okay.
there was some points where it was like that, but it felt a lot more like an original piece, even though it's still a parody, but it still feels like more of its own
Right.
this time around.
I do feel like it wasn't as cheap. The jokes weren't as cheap as they were on Spaceballs.
Yeah.
And since you didn't watch Life Stinks, they were definitely not as cheap as they were in Life Stinks.
Okay.
But maybe because in the last film, Life Stinks, it wasn't a parody. It was a comedy he was trying to do that wasn't a parody. But he's returning to the parodiness of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at like who he worked with, the writers, and it wasn't like there was people that wrote the film
For
and
this
then,
movie?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's like 2 guys, and then he co-wrote it too.
Mhm.
Like I guess he made some edits, whatever. So I don't think there was much in the sense of like he got a lot of help
Mm-hmm.
or he got more jokes written for him, but maybe just leaving the parody category and then coming back to it helped him. Also,
I see that.
before this, I think we talked about this last week too, that there's a big hit, Robin Hood, that came out. The movie came out, starring Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
So he sort of had that recentness of that in his mind.
Yep.
Or Star Wars came out like 8 years before that.
Yep.
He made Spaceballs, so
Yep.
maybe these things helped him make a better movie. I did find the story to be a little bit more engaging too than Spaceballs.
Yeah. It felt more like I could see where it was going, but not in like a bad way.
Right.
Like it was more thought out.
Yes.
Spaceballs felt like this happened, this happened. Okay, what could happen next?
Yes.
And then it did it happen?
Right.
And then it ended with the vacuum cleaner thing in space, which is a
Yeah.
little like, what the?
Uh-huh. It's like a series of gags.
Yeah.
Where this was like more led by the story, and then it had gags in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think what helps too is that in this movie there's like a series of characters. Whether it's Robin Hood, whether it's the bad guys, Prince John and the sheriff from Rottingham.
They're all pretty iconic, like in their way.
Yeah.
Not like these are iconic.
Right,
but,
right, right.
like, they're characters.
They're distinct.
Yeah.
They're all distinct. And then Chappelle's character, and then his merry men, like there's like a big guy, like he's distinct because he has like a certain look to him.
Yeah.
And then there's the other guy that has like his switchblades and can go really fast.
The blind guy.
The blind guy, yeah, that he's hilarious in his own way. But there's something about, and this is a personal thing too, like I love when characters have their own like powers.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the big guy, and he's big and rough. This is the fast guy, and he's quick.
Muscle, brain,
Yeah,
brawn.
like, and this was also this came up to me too, cause like I was watching for some reason I was watching Mighty Ducks, and I'm like, I love how in Mighty Ducks, especially the sequel, that they have like all these characters that are from like different parts of the country. Like, oh, this is a Quick Draw, and he has like a Texas accent, and he's quick on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, what is it? Each of them have their own flaws too. Like he's quick, but he can't stop.
But together as a team, it works out.
This is an Olympian figure dancer. Like he was like a Korean little kid. He's a figure dancer, and he can do all these twirls, but he's just small. He's just too small, and he's not that good because of that. And this is a great goalkeeper. And like, oh, but what's wrong with her? And then she takes off her mask. She's a girl.
It's a girl. Oh man.
And it's like stuff like that. It's like, oh, I sort of like that. Like my simple reptilian brain loves the simplicity of like everyone has like their own part.
I think that's kind of like the simplified version of what, like, kind of comparing to Mad Men, as we always should.
Of course.
But like each Mad Men character,
it always goes back to Mad Men.
Always.
Uh-huh.
But each one is like that too, where they don't have powers like that, but they're all like distinct and they have like their own like issues and like strengths, and it's the same exact thing. But this Mad Men's a little more high end in how it's done.
Right. Because like the kid version, which is Mighty Ducks, is like when they introduce the character, they straight up say what's the good thing about him and what's the bad thing about him. But when you're watching Mad Men, you don't realize what's wrong with Don until like a couple episodes in.
Yeah.
And what's wrong with Betty after like a season.
Yeah.
And what's wrong with Peggy and what's wrong with everyone until like a couple seasons.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps us invested as adults. But when you're a kid watching a movie, you're like, just tell me what he's good at.
Yeah.
Give me the gun that he's good at and tell me where his blind spot's at.
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting. I never thought of it that way. Characters. How characters work.
That's something I've been trying to feed myself in like content wise. Like I look up shows with best character development or
Right.
movies good with realistic characters. Yeah. Just so I can see like a bar for like what is good, what is character development.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm trying to like replicate it, but just because I find that's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
Where like
That's what keeps you interested.
yeah, where the characters are real people.
Yeah. And the movies or the shows that disregard like who the character is are the movies and shows that you get disappointed by.
Yeah.
Because sometimes shows build up a character to be a certain way, and then they do something that you're like, I don't know that guy. He wouldn't do that.
Like Marvel movies, they're all characters. Maybe like some less than more others, but like Iron Man, Captain America, they're like iconic characters. 'Cause
Right.
Steve Rogers with Chris Evans, it's like no one else is ever gonna play him that well.
Right.
Same thing with Iron Man, and that's why he's like they're so
Beloved.
beloved. But then Justice League with DC, like
Uh-huh.
the Snyder cut, they're not even really characters. They're just figures.
Well, they're characters, but they're characters that you don't relate with.
Yeah, maybe they need more movies, but I don't know. Like you could see all of Robert Downey Jr.'s
Judy.
Robert Downey Jr.'s character in one movie in Avengers. You could like, and
You know
only
who he is, you're saying.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but with Justice League, you don't know like anything about them really. Like they all kind of like yeah, there's Batman, there's Superman, there's Wonder Woman, but you don't really get them. Like you don't feel who they are.
Yeah.
Like you get tastes here and there, but overall it's like cookie cutter good guy and a cookie cutter bad guy. Robert Downey Jr. is like alcoholic, egomaniac, narcissistic, right?
Yeah.
And you get all that from like a minute of scene with him. You don't get that with DC as of now.
That's probably why I didn't like Captain Marvel too, because I don't know who Brie
She
Larson's character was really.
Yeah,
She's just like a bland.
like ego-ish kind of lady.
She's just like rice, like white rice.
Yeah.
No flavor to her.
Maybe they'll fix her. But
I in this movie I liked Dave Chappelle. Like I liked
he
the
got
role.
talent.
You can tell this was I think his first major role in a film. You can tell he has like if you saw this movie in 1993, you're like, oh, this guy's funny. This guy's cool.
Yeah.
But I do feel like they could have done way more with him.
I think we say that because we know what he is now. But like at the time, he was so nobody. Like they didn't realize what they could have done with him.
But even in like the scenes that he was in, like he brought so much spice to it.
You gotta remember racism too. Did you forget that little thing? You racist.
Sorry, 2021. You know.
God. I mean, it probably played a little part. Like you can't have. This is in quotes. Not me saying you can't have a black guy star too much in a movie.
Well, he did that with Blazing Saddles.
But that's like a movie about racism.
Right.
This is not that.
Yeah.
And there's a joke. That same joke that you.
Yeah, they did that in the film.
That I don't know why, but that part made me laugh. I didn't expect it.
Basically, what we're talking about is that at the end of the film, Robin Hood is like, "I'll make Achu sheriff," and they're like, "We can have a black sheriff," and then Achu's like, "Well, they had that in Blazing Saddles."
And he looks at the camera.
Yeah, the classic.
And they're
fourth
like,
wall.
he's right.
That wasn't funny to me, but
I like it. It's not funny, but like it's
tongue in
so
cheek.
unfunny that it made it funny.
Oh, okay.
Because it was like they really did that, and I just laughed at that.
But I guess the reason I say that is not just because it was Dave Chappelle, but it's also because like there's a lot of humor to have in the fact that he's a black character in this English setting.
Yeah, a lot of the jokes were about like his name.
Right.
But, like,
exactly.
There's like, not to be racist, but there's a good place to start making jokes.
Yeah, like,
know?
are we're gonna just ignore the fact that he's like the only black guy in this whole movie?
In the whole country, probably.
Right.
Like, in that setting.
So weird.
Yep.
I think we said this earlier, but the humor isn't bad,
Mhm.
isn't as bad in this movie as it was in like the previous films.
Mhm.
But you do see him redoing a lot of his jokes. Like Mel loves to put the walk this way scene in his movies. He loves to put the scene where like the camera zooms in too close and breaks through a mirror. Do you think that's like him like it's either A, oh that works, let's put that in there, or B, I just want to throw this like little Easter egg in each of my movies.
I think it's like he has his specific brand of humor, and he wants to put that in his movies because that's like it's his movie.
But it's using the exact same
yeah,
setup.
but like he's gonna find the same thing funny throughout his whole life. Like he probably makes the same jokes in real life, and he's probably a funny guy in real life, but he's probably a character in real life, and he always makes the same jokes. Like I would think you and me are gonna laugh at the same things from like this point till when we're like 200 years old or whatever.
Well, yeah, we do. To be honest, we do say the same kind of jokes to each other, right?
Yeah, and that's normal.
Right.
And it would take a lot to break through that, but you don't really have to at the same time, because like who's gonna make you be funnier? Who's gonna make Mel Brooks like come on, make new jokes or something like that? Because I think he's at the top of what he's trying to do, right?
Comedy?
Yeah.
Comedic director?
Yeah. I don't think any of his peers are probably all out of the game. Any new
By this time, yeah.
Yeah, any new people.
By this time, he's 68, I believe.
Yeah, they're out.
Yeah.
They're out
Or not getting films.
Yeah. But and no new one's no Dave Chappelle's gonna be like, look, I'm the next hotness. This is what you got to do. They're gonna respect the comedy genius that he is.
Right.
And no one's gonna push him.
Oh man, that's interesting. I would like to think he's more like, I just like having this scene in all of my films because it's like an Easter egg type of thing. Because it's not so much that he doesn't have an idea of like I don't have more ideas to give, but it's more so like, this is my trademark.
I would think you would want to be as funny as possible, and that would mean evolving to like the next funny.
Right.
But at that age, who cares? Like you're funny enough. That's how I would think. Like,
right.
Why would I need to get any farther? I already made my millions of movies.
But Scorsese doesn't, even though he's not a comedic director, he's a dramatic director. He doesn't do that. He doesn't use the same. He might tackle the same premises, like gangsters and stuff like that. But he doesn't throw in like the same scene in every one of his movies.
But he does like the same premises. Maybe that's like
he does the same premise, but that's different from doing the same scene. Like,
but maybe that's like the same thing in comedy, like not evolving.
No, because if he wanted to do if Brooks did the same thing that Scorsese did, that means every time he would make a movie that dealt with the same core story.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying like the comedy version of doing the same thing, same joke over and over again is the drama version. Like that's what Scorsese's doing the same scenario. Like they're different things. Do you know what I'm saying? Trying to say that? Okay.
Because the equivalent would be Scorsese in every one of his films doing like a classic scene that he did in the other.
You talking to me?
Yeah. No, that wasn't in that movie. You're thinking about De Niro. De Niro did that in another film that wasn't directed by Scorsese.
Are you sure?
Yeah. You talking to me?
Isn't that
That's from.
Taxi Driver?
I think that's from. Oh, yeah, you might be right.
You piece of trash.
Yeah, but like he would not do that. And if he did that, we would be like,
Yes.
"What the heck is happening here?"
I don't think either of us are wrong.
You couldn't
You
even
looked
say
at
that
me,
with a
you're
straight face.
Huh? I think the comedy version of doing the same thing over and over again is using your jokes over and over again. The drama film version of that is doing the same premise over and over again. And then I don't know, the romantic movie version of that is having the same couple doing over like the same scenario of like he leaves her whatever over and over again.
Right.
Like a trope. Is that no? It's kind of like a trope.
I think why I don't agree with that, what you're saying, is because
It's too different.
you can do the same premise in a romantic movie, like a guy,
Jewish.
You had Robert Downey was Junie, and then I have a goy. Let's mark that in the cheat sheets. A romantic movie can do a movie about a guy falling in love with a girl, losing her over and over again, right?
Right.
Set in a different setting in the 80s, in the 70s, medieval. And that could be seen, that can be done by a director over and over again. But in a romantic movie, if they do a scene like in Harry Met Sally where the girl has an orgasm, in every movie, right? Medieval times in the 70s, 60s, then we would see that like, oh, they're just redoing the same scene over and over again. It's like we've seen it once. It's sort of going back to the well and trying to recreate something.
Right.
And I think that's what Mel's doing here. Like, he's going back to the well and recreating something. He's either doing it because he doesn't have anything to do, like he doesn't have any more juice to give, or he's like, I do it in all my films. Let's keep it going.
No.
Which I would respect either one because, like you said, he's old. He's an old man.
Come on, he's watching this.
He doesn't. Sorry, Valley. You agree. You're
He's like
old.
watching this crying.
You
Isn't
agree.
that funny?
You're old. You don't have anything else to prove. Or if the other thing is true, yeah, you want to do that in every one of your films. It's your trademark.
Going back to the well.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, go back to the well. And if Scorsese did it, he would get a lot of critique from that. But he doesn't do that because I think he knows better.
He goes back to the well of mafia.
Yeah, because there's plentiful. It's plentiful. It's abundant.
I think with just comedy, since it ages so fast, it's a lot harder to use the well. Like the well gets dirty pretty fast, whereas the mafia well,
It dries up.
It gets cleaned pretty often because there's a lot of mafia stories.
I
but
can see that.
with comedy, like you're only funny for so long until like the next generation of humor pops up.
That's a good question. Like, what's the
well of each?
No. Well, yeah, that's a good one. But what is the best comedic director of all time who, like, throughout all generations, he was able to be funny? Or she was able to be funny?
I think it's early, but Adam McKay, even though he kind of is not really doing comedy exactly,
Yeah.
he puts a lot of comedy in his drama movies.
But that's sort of cheating, though. Because, like, I want a comedic director.
Pure like Mel
Yeah,
Brooks.
because if you just have to sprinkle some comedy on top of your drama, your hit ratio is going to be a little easier because you don't have to think of so many. But at the same time, it could be hard because it's like, how can you put comedy in drama?
I think it's just the evolution of comedy. You have to put it in drama now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people want Mel Brooks style of this is straight comedy, like boop, bap, soup.
Right.
And it's just, we've evolved
Right.
past that.
Thor Ragnarok. Waititi is a great example of that.
Yeah. You have to mix them together.
Right. Yeah, because I'm thinking about, like, Waititi's a good example, but he sort of did the opposite. He's like, I want to make a straight up comedy, but the only way I can do it is by having superheroes.
Right.
He wasn't like, I need to evolve comedy. He's like, I need to use comedy. I want to make comedy, but the only way I can get in is to piggyback off these superhero guys.
I think we just need to see.
Like who's the next Adam Sandler?
I don't know where comedy would go. Like they all do podcasts. The sickos, the weirdos. I hate them.
Sick freaks.
Yeah, they're not doing movies or TV really anymore.
Yeah,
because they want to get direct podcast money, and maybe some are doing stand up, but because Corona, nobody can do stand up. Well, maybe now they can, but I think that's like our only medium of comedy now. Like SNL, I don't even think that's good anymore.
Yeah.
Like they have like the little hits here and there, but that's like a whole nother discussion. But like what's comedy? What's the next thing in comedy that's like another Mel Brooks? Is it just TikTok? Is it SNL too?
No, I think what's gonna happen with comedy now is that now that there's real money in podcast, and now that is an avenue, what I see happening is, and it sort of already happened with Midnight Gospel. What's his name? Midnight Gospel.
I don't know his name.
Duncan Trussell. Where these podcasts can spin out movies and shows that are self-funded and self-made and Patreon-based and more small scale, where the audience might not be as big, but for the amount of audience they are getting, they're able to produce something of good quality. Because, like I said, Duncan Trussell made something with Netflix, but there's so much money in the ad business and the Patreon business and it's so easy to make things yourself that I think a lot of these comedians can start doing that if they want. But it's much easier to just do a podcast.
Sucks. I don't like podcasts. Because I said it before, but they kind of just cycle at a point where it's so purely them. It doesn't feel like they would get better. Like they just cycle that like saying I say this, but we're doing a podcast. I didn't even realize.
Oh God. But ours is a comedic podcast.
True, but just there's nobody to tell them what to do, and I think that's gonna hurt them eventually.
How? What do you mean?
Well, like you need some reining in at one point. Like you can make your amazing piece of content, and then you're solo forever. But if you don't have anybody to tell you like what's the next step or whatever, I feel like there's a good chance you can fall off and not know what to do next. Like, who is completely solo in anything that doesn't have any like outside people telling them what to do that still makes like good stuff?
Good stuff as in good podcasts?
Like anything, like music, movies.
Rogan. He's completely solo and he makes a good podcast. The podcast isn't necessarily always funny, but it's informative. Like when he has informative guests on.
I guess.
And then there's what's happening now is a lot of comedians are teaming up and making like
twofers?
Yeah. Like there's one called Bad Friends that I love with Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino, and it's hilarious. Like I love watching it because they're a dynamic duo together.
So I don't fully understand your fear or your critique of comedic podcasts. You haven't really elaborated. What are you so scared of, huh?
I just don't think
they're good. You don't think they're funny?
I don't think they last.
But do they have to last? Like, can it just be like
But you're not.
50 episodes that are good?
Are they gonna stop at 50?
No, sometimes.
No.
So is that your grip? Like, what if you get to 100 and you're not funny anymore?
No, I want like just a
Oh, you want like a season?
yes, like something.
Like, where does it
definitive.
stop?
Yeah, because I see 1,000 episodes of Rogan. I'm not gonna watch all of that. I don't.
But you don't have
I
to.
don't have to. But
I don't have to.
but that's like a lot of content I'm missing out on too. I know I don't have to, but I like having like that full
Digestible.
yeah. Like you can't watch 1,000 episodes of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you have to, but I want all of it.
Okay, I know what you mean, but that seems more like I guess that seems more personal, right? Like a personal issue that you have.
Yeah, in a way.
But there, if it is personal, then that doesn't make it bad.
The bad part was me saying, I don't know if they can evolve. And I think evolution comes from somebody saying, you're in this box.
Right.
And that's like the podcast format is too open
Right.
for a lot of,
It can continue for too long.
yeah.
I could see that.
And maybe like the good ones will be like, all right, it's run its course. I need to do something else. But if they're just making hand over fist and people just like love everything they're saying, why would they ever stop? And then what if like they keep going and we just miss out on like the Bill Burr movie that's like the most amazing movie ever, just because he knows there's no money in movies. Money corrupts.
I get you. I guess, yeah. I think a person, whoever makes, they should be, first of all, they should want to make a movie if they want to make a movie. If they don't, they shouldn't be like, because making a movie is its own, there's flaws to that too, not just money, but time and the amount of time you have to put into to actually do something good. Whereas like comedy and a podcast is fun because you can just, it's like a hangout, and you can make fun of things, and it's like all the fun you can ever have, it's right there. Like all the things you love about comedy, that's what makes podcasts great. Because you can just hang out, talk shit, be funny. What you don't like is like acting. That's the gripe a lot of comedians have. Like, what I don't like is waiting in my trailer for them to call me up just to do like one line or a couple lines.
Right. Or even like a written movie by Bill Burr.
Right.
Is what I would want. Maybe not Bill Burr, but
someone.
Yeah.
That's true.
But if they're making easy money, having fun podcasting, and it's like, I'm not telling them to not do that, but if it's so easy, why stop?
Yeah.
And if they're having a ton of fun, why stop?
Right. I do think there's gonna be, like everything, it's getting more corporate. So there's gonna be something that sort of has to like break it out of the box, because everyone's doing it now, and all the advertisements going towards it. So things will change. Once things go mainstream, there's always gonna be some ripples that change it up.
Yeah.
Ivan, are you ready for the categories for Robin Hood, man?
Yeah.
Let's do this. For the Moment Award, this award goes to the best scene in the movie. Ivan, do you have something?
I don't remember.
Let me start off. So, in the very beginning of the movie, there's a scene where there's a group of African American men rapping and dancing. And basically they're just like telling the plot of the movie. In a crazy, it's almost like an alternate universe of what Mel Brooks sees hip hop being. Like they're like dancing, right? And there's a guy. My name is Rubber man in tights. Yeah.
Is that racist?
No.
Cause like
What I just said or what Mel did?
was that racist? No, what Mel did.
It's not racist because they weren't degrading themselves.
It's a little caricature-y.
It's caricature, yeah. But
Maybe
I think as a
product of its time. Like I'm not gonna cancel it or anything. I don't. I'll let it live. But I'm more just like devil's advocate.
Right.
Racist.
I mean, 100%, it's something that would be criticized nowadays.
Yeah.
But should it be? I mean, my pushback would be like, my artistic view of this artistic realm is this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I wanted to make a movie about flamenco dancing, and I completely do it in a way that doesn't even take into account like the flamenco culture,
Right.
that should be fine. But the results are, do people like it or not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I put
Stereotype? Is that the word? Continue.
if I make a movie about hip hop and it doesn't take into account like hip hop culture, I just want to use hip hop, almost like what's it called? Hamilton.
Trash.
You see it?
I've seen parts.
Like, it doesn't
That
take
is
it.
kind of like
What?
Mel Brooks did.
Right, but that's fine.
Is it?
Like, it's not bad for someone to take an art and interpret it and like remix it. It is bad if you degrade it while you're doing it
Yeah, I know what you mean.
and making fun of it when it's not a copy. Or
Yeah. But it's like on Hamilton, it's bad compared to rap. To like real rap, like the rap that people actually listen to.
Right.
So if this is bad compared to what I assume rap was back then.
Right, because Illmat, or what came out in 1993? Wu-Tang Clan. Enter the 36 Chambers came out.
I'm sure that's a little bit better than what Mel Brooks
Some would say it is.
I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's just more like interesting.
I guess there is like an argument of saying like there is a certain level of not respect. What's the word, like responsibility to portray something correctly, because more people are viewing this and they could see it as like, oh, this is what this is.
Oh, I'm into rap now.
Yeah, like is
It's
rap
Hamilton.
dressing up in tights and dancing like a Broadway dance. But that's sort of like the argument where it's like you shouldn't make movies that are violent, or you shouldn't make games that are violent, because little kids are gonna play it.
So how would you use that with music or the rap? You shouldn't.
Like the argument would be like, you shouldn't make this because people are gonna watch this and think that's what rap is. And like, no, they should be educated, and if they're not educated, then that's not my fault. It's not my responsibility to portray this as real as it gets. Especially if I'm making a comedy.
I see that. I think
That's where the responsibility comes in.
if
Like,
I were Mr. Hamilton writer, I would have got like.
no, if you're Mel Brooks.
You could say the same thing.
But we're talking about, do Mel Brooks.
If I was Mel Brooks, Mr. Mel Brooks writer, I would have been like, look, I think it's kind of too much for him to ask of him, but that's why I said Hamilton. But like, I'm gonna do a rap scene, and I'm gonna get the rappers of today, and then ask for their input.
But that's like the woke version. Like, why do I have to do that? Why can't I just make art the way I want to make it?
I'm not even doing it for like wokeness. I just want a quality song made out of it, and that would be calling Wu-Tang Clan saying, "Hey, I want you guys to write a song for this comedy," and that would be a cool collab, right? And then
Yeah.
Hamilton, like, look, I'm this writer. I can write basic rap songs. Like, I know the gist of rap, but let me get Kendrick Lamar to write some of this, or give me pointers. Do you know?
Yeah. I guess like my argument against that would be
It's too much.
what does Kendrick know about comedy? Or what does Kendrick know about making a drama? Like why would I need the only reason I need his input would be like rhyme schemes. Like how to use words correctly in one line or with maximum impact or like deliver them, have delivery good and flow and all that.
I don't know why he chose that time period for Hamilton. Like, I would have done some other thing as rap.
Uh-huh.
Because it just feels so weird having, like, all these founding fathers rap. It feels like a little, like, overly woke in a way.
Right.
Where it leaves a weird taste like, oh, yeah, I'm about liberal life or whatever.
That's the point. Yeah, I guess that is the point. Like, to portray these regal, important people in the hip hop world, like with one of the art forms that is vital to the culture right now. But it is sort of it's corny inherently.
Yeah, like I don't know what would be a good topic you can rap over that's not corny. Like, I guess you could do like history of Wu-Tang Clan and then do a play on that. But even
that would be corny, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's inherently corny.
Rapping in a play?
Yeah.
Someone's going to do it and it's not going to be corny.
Because like
Kanye, play. He writes it, he directs it. I don't know.
Like poetry, to me, I'm thinking about poetry now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, poetry is corny.
I can see that.
And to me, poetry is sort of like a dramatic rap.
I think like a runaway play, like Kanye, and do it a little more like how the movie is. That wouldn't be corny. It would be a little more artsy and it would be rappy. I don't think that would be corny. Doesn't have to be exact copy, but that vein of artsy rap play format.
Mm-hmm. I guess when it gets corny is like when you're trying hard.
Yeah.
So like if they're trying to tell a story with like in rap, it's like, oh, I went to my mother's the other day.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh god.
But that was good back then.
Yeah.
Like at the start.
I'm just saying if they made that.
On the first day of rap.
I could have been a rapper in the 80s. It would have been brilliant.
You could have been actually just with what you know now.
Let's go back to Moment Award.
Could have been the best rapper back then.
So that little scene was really, it's definitely not the best scene, but it was just amazing to see what Mel thinks of what rap is.
Yeah. That was a good tangent.
It was a good tangent. It was.
Don't yell.
Let's clip it. Another scene, well, a couple scenes that are like, all the scenes where Robin meets his merry men.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, I'm a Jew. I'm a black guy. That's what makes me different. We were talking about this earlier. I'm Little John.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you call you Little John? I don't know, but I'm big. I'm Blinken, and I can't see. I'm Will Scarlett O'Hara. I use my knives, and I'm quick.
Mm-hmm.
Love this simplicity of that.
Character introductions.
Another great scene, and I think this is probably my favorite scene, the Godfather scene.
Oh, yeah.
My boy Dom DeLuise came in hard.
It was a good accent, like
perfect imitation of Marlon Brando.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hilarious too. I love when he's like he was making fun of his guy. I forgot what he told him, but
like the no tongue guy.
Oh yeah, he's like, you know what, he can't, I told him to do this, he can't do it. I love messing with him. Just a great scene by a classic actor.
I think that's like the perfect amount of parody. Like, that's what a parody should be.
Yep.
and it's obviously that, but it's making jokes on that.
Yep.
But it's not like, all right, come on. I think this was way before like the mainstream Godfather references everywhere. So it wasn't too like, we've seen all these Godfather jokes a million times. So it was fresh at the time.
Yeah, and it was really good. You're right. That is sort of like what a parody should be. And it's funny because like I sent you the clip of Shrek and how it sort of had a bunch of parodies within it, which I didn't realize until I saw the clip. I was like, oh yeah, this movie was basically like a big old parody.
Parody inside of parody. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like a parody on
A bunch of different things.
Princess or Disney.
Yeah.
Well, that's like half parody, half satire, huh?
Yes.
Because it has like literally Cinderella in the movie.
Right.
Interesting.
Is Shrek like one of the greatest movies ever?
Honestly, I think so.
I've heard a lot of people say Shrek is horrible.
They suck.
That is true.
I think if you really get to know what Shrek is, you can't say it's like it sucks. Because of like, if you just take it as like an ogre wedding, whatever, and I guess you could be like, I guess that wasn't for me. But you see, like, it's parodying so much in like every way. It's genius, but not genius, but you know.
And even like when we were kids, it was so good.
Yeah.
Like it was relatable. It was good for kids and adults.
Was it? Do you think it was the first adult kid movie?
No, Toy Story was.
No, that's more a kid movie.
No.
Yeah.
Any Pixar movie is adult movie.
Kid. But Shrek is like another level of adult kid.
Gotcha.
Whereas like an adult can watch this alone and nobody would care. But I think back then people would say something about like a Toy Story weirdo.
Right. Like, you're a nerd.
Yeah, like get a life.
And Shrek had a classic song.
Yep.
The Smash Mouth, right?
Yep.
Jeez. Such an iconic movie.
Powerful.
Maybe we should do that guy. What's his name? He's the guy that did Pirates, right?
Is he?
I think so.
He did Ring. Are you talking about the Ringo?
Is it him, or am I completely botching this?
I don't think it's him, but I don't know for sure.
I'll look it up really quick while I do this next scene. Moment Award. Also, I think the last scene, the battle between Sheriff of Rottingham and Robin, was pretty good when they're battling out a bunch of different little gags. What do you think out of those are your favorite scenes?
None of them.
Godfather?
Yeah, probably Godfather. That was the because I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
And that was the one time I was like, yeah, this is something.
Lifetime Achievement. This award goes to the actor director who at this point of the career has reached the pinnacle. Mel Brooks.
No.
Carrie Ells, the main actor who plays Robin.
Maybe. I don't know what else he's done.
Princess Bride.
He was the main dude?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, we just talked about that. However,
I didn't think he was the main dude. I thought he was just in it.
he's the guy with the bandit.
Yeah.
What's the guy?
I don't know.
Damn it, we suck sometimes. So, is that his peak, or is this his peak?
It feels like a double. Like they both fed off each other. Like when that movie came out.
87, I think.
And this one's 91? 93? They just feel so like together.
I'm gonna say he's known for Princess Bride for sure. To most people, it's like the guy from Princess Bride,
fair.
Not the guy from Robin Hood.
Fair.
Robin Hood movies. Is this the peak of Robin Hood movies? So we had one that just came out with our boy.
Yeah.
What's his name? Edgerton.
Taron Edgerton.
Joel Taron. Joel Edgerton.
No, it was the. There's too many movies floating in my head right now. I was like, oh.
That's how many Robin Hood movies there are.
No, the the Kingsman movie, the main actor. in
Yes. What's his?
Taron Edgerton or Edgerton.
Edgerton.
The other dude you said is from Great Gatsby.
Really?
That's why I said
Jesus
too many
Christ.
movies in my head.
Oh,
I was,
yeah, I know.
I was trying to tell,
Yeah,
connect
yeah.
who's from what.
God. Did you watch that one with
No.
Jamie Foxx?
No,
I didn't watch it either.
I don't care about Robin Hood anymore. Like,
I know. Why are they making Robin Hood movies?
they should do like a cyber Robin Hood. Like, why are they doing the same medieval setting over and over again? Like, imagine a cyberpunk
Robin Hood's great
grandson,
cousin. Yeah.
like, robbing the corporate elite, giving to the slums of New York.
Using Bitcoin wherever he goes.
It writes itself. He steals the NFC.
NFTs.
NFTs.
The fuck is NFC? NFC is like the football division.
I love it. We should write this.
Okay. Who's the bad guy? Just the corporate elite.
Jeff Bezos, like a clone.
Yes. Bezos or okay, Bezos, and then who's helping him? It's what's his name? Elon Musk. Elon Musk is like his like what Jamie Foxx was.
But he's rich too.
But he's like underground. He's like okay, I got it.
Okay.
So Elon Musk, but no one knows it's Elon Musk. He goes by like a code name, like my name's Rocket Man. Like, who's this Rocket Man coming up on all these social feeds, and he's giving Robin Hood like the tips of where all these things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one knows, and at the end Elon Musk comes out. It was me all along.
No, he's like not inhabiting, but like he has like a cyber body, and like at the start it's established that like this dude was like an old cyber legend or whatever.
Right.
And then later it's revealed it was Elon Musk controlling him the whole time. So it's like two different characters, but it was Elon Musk.
That sort of reminds me of Ready Player One, when the butler
Oh yeah.
was him all the time, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking? Something like that?
Similar.
Okay. And Jeff Bezos, he's the Dr. Evil in this.
But then at the end, Elon's like, my plan worked. I'm the king or something like that. I got the NFT I was looking for of
God.
Nyan Cat running.
Okay, yeah. I like this movie. Greenlit.
Thank you.
Coming to theaters in 2023. MVP of this movie, I'm going to give it to Cary Elwes as Robin Hood.
Yeah.
He's
Charisma.
charismatic, but there is something dorky about him, right?
Yeah.
He plays this sort of like, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Like wide-eyed.
But it's because he doesn't care, you know? Like he's a dork, but it's the fact that he doesn't care. It makes him like, he's cool. Like if he was a dork and then he's like, you saw I was a dork, then it wouldn't be cool.
Right.
But like he's a dork. I'm like, I'm a dork.
Gotcha, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. He accepts it.
He likes being goofy.
He likes being goofy.
Yep.
I agree with that. Next award, Scene Stealer. This award goes to the actor who stole the movie but was in the movie less than 10 minutes. I think this is pretty easy. Down to Luis.
True.
And he has a runner-up, though. Professor X.
Oh, yeah.
Patrick Stewart was in
that
this movie.
took me out. I was like, what?
As King Richard, who comes in to say, I need one last kiss before I can accept this marriage.
He uses that same joke, Mel Brooks. Like, it's good to be king.
I almost threw up when I heard it.
It's like, you piece of trash. Come here.
Did you have to do that? Did you know, along with Spaceballs, this movie made the most money out of all Mel Brooks movies after it was released because of VHS and DVD and all that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
So it's like one of those, it is considered like a cult classic.
Very cool.
Let's rate this movie, Evan. But first, let's take a quick commercial break.
It's time, Evan, to rank this movie in all its glory as far as Mel Brooks films. Ivan, what do you give this movie?
I give it. I give it a 7.7.
Damn, Ivan. That's pretty high. I didn't expect that. And we're actually pretty close in our thinking because I gave it a 7.6. What's so quickly one
Why?
sentence summary? Why? Yeah, why good?
It's a cute movie.
'Kay.
It's cute.
I accept that. So your rankings are as follows: silent film 6.5, history of the world 6.8, 12 chairs 7, Spaceballs 7.2, high anxiety 7.5, Robin Hood 7.7, Young Frankenstein 7.8.
Yeah.
The Producer 7.8 and Blazing Saddles 9.
Yep.
You agree with all that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Perfect.
So I have Life Stinks at 6. History of the World 6.5. 12 Chairs 6.8. Silent Movie 7. Spaceballs 7. Robin Hood 7.6. High Anxiety 8. Love High Anxiety. The Producers 8.2. Young Frankenstein 8.6. Blazing Saddles 8.6.
I think the only movies so far that I want to rewatch is Blazing Saddles, Robin Hood, and Producers. Even though one's not rated.
I would want to rewatch Saddles, Frankie, Producers, and that's it. I don't want to ruin High Anxiety. High Anxiety has like I have like an image of High Anxiety in my head that's like, you are really good. You know, like I'm like a like body positivity on High Anxiety. Like, you look good, girl. Like, don't change how you look. You look great.
I get you.
know
Don't
what
look
I
in the mirror.
Don't look in the mirror. That's only gonna tell you lies. Ivan, it's time. First section we like to call
Things and such.
Anything you've been watching recently? Anything you've been watching recently?
Have you seen Scrubs, the show?
I've seen Scrubs, the show. I used to watch that like randomly when our older brother would watch it. It's good.
I'm rewatching that on Hulu.
What do you think?
It's a classic comedy show.
Did you watch it before?
Yeah.
Where does it sit in your pantheon? Is it above 30 Rock?
It's tough because this one's more like has like really poignant life lessons that like you can like super digestible. But 30 Rock is just like pure jokes.
Yeah.
So it depends if you want the funnies.
Les Lemon.
Exactly. Or if you want like to change your life, you want Scrubs.
Yeah.
If I had to choose, Scrubs.
Damn.
But it would be, I would have grief over the loss of 30 Rock.
You would have many haters because
Yep.
I don't think there's a big fan base, as big as a fan base
Yeah.
as 30 Rock.
Yep.
Community? You watch that?
Yeah.
Community or what? What's better?
And Community?
What's like the best?
Mad Men?
Comedic.
Oh,
Mad Men?
perhaps. I would say, what else is there? I think The Office is kind of ruined from how
I could
run into the
never
ground.
watch The Office.
It's still good, but I just can't anymore. It's too tough. But what else is there? Community?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like Seinfeld?
I'm never.
What about Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I want to watch that, but it's a lot of cringe humor of like awkward situations.
Yeah. You don't like that?
No. Arrested Development,
Arrested Development was good.
but like only the first few seasons are good.
Yeah.
So it's like tough to put that anywhere. I don't know.
Let's move on. What else are you watching?
That's it.
Listening?
Nothing really good. is coming out. We got Mr. Jermaine Cole releasing an album soon.
I can hear it in my ears.
Dun, 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 dun. Wait, that's like Mario.
J. Cole coming out with a new album, The Fall Off. Ivan and I talked about it quickly. He said he predicts a 7 out of 10. I predict an 8 out of 10.
I feel he's just too gone. Like
He's too far gone.
Like Drake?
So far gone.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think he can do it. I think it's going to be too corny. Like, not a whole corny album, but like he can't help but being a little too preachy. And what he needs to do is figure out like the line between preachy and then just like relating your struggles or whatever.
Yeah. I just feel like it's been so long that even though he didn't figure it out, he did his best to get as close to figuring it out as possible. So
an 8.
That's why he gets an 8. Because it's been so long that it's like, okay, he's able to really hone in. And
We'll see.
what do you think what is he going to talk about? Because the last album was KOD, Kids on Drugs. He's talking about how
I think it's going to be
hip-hop turned into drugs. But in this album, he's probably going to have a concept, and it's called The Fall Off. And from the looks of it, the cover art, it's going to be there. He has a basketball
on fire.
What is it? Basketball hoop on fire. And we all know he came from basketball. And he came out with a book. Sorry. Some shoes, basketball shoes with Puma. I don't know what I was thinking about.
Jesus.
So is he going to, what is it? The Fall Off. What is it going to be about?
I think it's about legacy. Like your imprint on the world. But if he's like, I don't know. That's
scary. That's a scary one. Legacy is hard to talk about.
Especially your own. Like you can't be, I mean, rap is about saying like you're the best. But it's for how J. Cole would go about saying that.
Yep.
You would need a lot more nuance.
You're scaring me now. You just scared me.
Give you the shivers.
Oh, man. I don't know. Okay. Well, another person that might come out with an album this year, Lil Uzi Vert. He says he's working on his next album. And I've heard from the Joe Bottom, obviously the Joe Bottom podcast, because that's a great podcast. No, the Joe Budden podcast, that he heard that Uzi's making his version of Thriller. Not exactly Thriller.
What in the world?
It's like saying like you know how Michael Jackson had his album Thriller, and that was his like big huge album, like his biggest successful album. That's what Uzi's working on, like his hit album.
Oh.
And when I heard that, I was like,
of course. That's what he's doing.
I mean, if anyone told me like anything about Uzi, I'd be like,
I know.
Yes. Yes, he is doing that because he's a master.
But did Michael Jackson, like when he was making Thriller, say this was his Thriller? Or was he like, this is my next album? And then it ended up being his Thriller.
I think he knew that he wanted to. Yeah, I think he was trying to shoot for the stars.
Like make hits.
Yeah. And this is sort of what we talked about with Thug, that we wanted an album of pure hits. What if Uzi's like, nah, that's me, son.
But has he ever made an intentional hit?
I think I heard him say one time where he's like, I don't like making hits. Which I don't get, but he's like, I know how to do that, but I don't like that.
So he's selling out.
Maybe. Well, that's what The Weeknd did.
Sell out.
Weeknd was like, I can't make songs
that are hits.
Like I need help. And he went up to Max Martin. He's like, help me make a hit. And they made a
Can't Feel My Face.
Yeah. And the rest is history. So Uzi's gonna go the rap version of that. Because imagine 10 songs that are all EXO Tour Life.
But he didn't. Is he gonna remake that? He made a second one. Shut up.
Wait, what?
I don't have any faith in that man. I don't.
But he's not a man.
He's a
He's
boy
an alien. Sent from the gods above.
from Pluto.
From Pluto. Honestly, I don't have faith that he can make a Thriller album.
Yeah, that's already like the highest bar ever.
But I do have faith that he can make his best album ever. His best album ever. And his best album ever will be one of my favorite albums because I love his albums.
Right.
His brand, I should say. I like his style of music.
If you say so.
I think what he really needs to do is hone in on like making good hooks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what EXO Tour Life was. Like, it was a great hook.
I'm tired of talking about like what artists should do.
Yeah.
It's always like the same. Like, stop what you're doing. Get help.
I thought you were about to bust out into a rap, Shock G Humpty Dance. Stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin. I was like, oh wow, you go girl. Okay, next subject, Travis Scott.
Astro Tour.
Yeah, but no. We could talk about that too. But he came out. He had an interview, and he's like,
Let's hear it. Let's hear this garbage.
It's pretty cringe. But I actually understand what he's saying. But it doesn't come out. It didn't come out.
This is going to hurt me.
He's like, I'm not a fan of advertising or marketing.
I hate him so much.
I like to think of it more. I'm more of a naturalist.
McDonald's. What was that? What was
that was my
nugget pillow.
That was my exact reaction. What you had, I was like, okay, you're.
He does not know what he's talking about. Like,
but no. I looked into it more, and I started to think of what he was trying to say, and I think what he was trying to say is like, all the things that all the things I've made so far, are things that I like things that are coming up naturally to me.
I understand.
You know, like even though, yeah, I collabed with McDonald's, it's something that has always been in my life.
I love McDonald's.
Yeah, like I love McDonald's. What can I say? That is naturally what I was into.
Fortnite. He loves Fortnite.
Yeah.
The two biggest money making companies in the world.
Yeah. But it is like it comes off tone deaf.
Yeah. Yes.
Like
Should have been like, I like to do a little bit. I like to advertise differently, or something like that.
Right.
Like I don't want to do.
Like I think the right way of
Not
saying it, I don't like to think of it as advertisement or marketing, even though that is what it is.
Uh-huh.
I like to think of it more of like, this is my lifestyle, which is true. And honestly, what Travis is doing is like sort of like the dream of what all artists want. Like they want to essentially create their own worlds.
Yeah.
And
Astro World.
Astro World.
Oh.
And that is a great thing that Travis has done. He's been able to successfully sort of intertwine with all these brands, even though it does come off as selling out. Like to be able to, a rap artist to collab with McDonald's is a pretty big deal.
True. Now he needs to make good music.
Ivan's only wish.
He needs to start producing.
That is your only wish, right?
Yeah. I just want him to put in the work. As always.
We should have a clip of like all the times he said that.
Put in the work. Knuckle down, put in the work. It's like an hour. Put in the work, put in the work, put in the work.
Movie news, Ivan.
Tell me.
Or TV show, actually. Green Lantern.
Corpse?
HBO Max. It's going to be, looks like they're going to have 2 Green Lanterns, so it's going to be spanning across time.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like jump back and forth. But what do you think about a Green Lantern show?
I hope it's well made. I hope the CW team has no say.
Oh, I was like, no, they're not going to have a...
No.
But yeah.
I just give it to HBO's studios. And then I think it'll be good.
I'm just happy we're going to have a Green Lantern show. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I liked it. Marvel did it again, Ivan. Came out with a trailer, and it ate me up.
Yeah. It's like, it's weird because it's so, like, the next phase,
Yeah.
but it feels like it's history now. Like, we lived through, like, all those phases, and now it's gone. Like, it's done. And now it's this new crop of heroes. Like, no more, like, classic Captain America, classic Iron Man. It's going to be kid Iron Man, woman Captain America, you know?
Yeah.
I like that, but it's bittersweet.
Right. A great trailer, by the way. Like, the way they have Stanley, we're all human.
Yeah.
We're all one people. I'm like, they know how to do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, come back to the movies. And then round after round of movie that they're like, we know you've been waiting.
Mhm.
The ones that I'm not excited about are the ones that are coming out soon. Like Black Widow,
Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah. I want to see Eternals just because I don't know anything about them.
Right. Eternals looks like mystical.
It has like the best cast ever too.
And it has a great director who just won
Who's the-
Best Director in the Academy Awards. Forgot, but she's a female of the Asian descent.
Cool.
The Marvels. Did you see that? It's good. It's they showed it as the title for one of their films.
Oh.
It's gonna be Captain Marvel and the girl from that turned with superpowers in
The big like boom.
no in the
Oh, the
WandaVision.
Oh, the black girl who was in Mad Men.
Yes, of course. The Marvels with it's gonna have her because it's Captain Marvel and it's gonna be more people.
Okay.
Basically, a team of Marvel.
They gotta drown out the original one.
They're like, oh, that was a bad movie. They made $1 billion.
That's funny. All right.
Wakanda Forever.
I feel like that's gonna be more of a universal, like, more into the, because like they can't have Chadwick anymore,
Uh-huh.
so it's gonna be more like cast
Yeah,
centered instead of Black Panther.
I'm scared for that movie. But they have a great director. But who
They
knows?
seem like confident, but maybe they have to seem confident.
right. Guardians
see.
of the Galaxy 3, of course.
It's gonna be great.
Doctor
Strange.
Doctor
Spider-Man.
Strange, Spider-Man. I'm excited for those.
I just want to see the classic Spider-Man villains because they're gonna have Doc Ock.
Oh yeah, multiverse.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four was the final one they teased.
I didn't expect that. Like, I expected 5 more years until we even got a hint.
So it's interesting that they ended on that. Well, I guess it's if it's like the last movie that's gonna get released, it's like they have to end on that. But
Yeah.
it did seem like it meant a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they showed like
we're starting. Mhm. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
I'm excited. And then like they're like, we'll see you in the theaters. And they winked at us.
Bling.
Take all my money.
When's X-Men? Where's
Next
phase?
Next phase.
So they?
I want an X-Men show. I don't want a movie.
It's probably where it's gonna go. Maybe just like
X-Men Mad Men. Let's go. What's his name? Rob
X-
Weiner?
Matthew.
Matthew Weiner.
Yeah.
Probably Matthew Weiner, but I'll call him Weiner because he deserves it.
Yeah.
Make X-Men show.
Ex-Mad Men.
Oh! What a bunch of geeks we are.
Like Don Draper, but he has like Cyclops.
Oh, no.
Dang it, Betty.
Oh no, that's the worst best take you ever had.
They should do like a CGI trailer, like
No,
fan-made.
don't make a fan made. I hate
That'd
fan
be
made.
funny.
I hate fan made stuff.
Like when Peggy and Don are fighting. It's like that's what the money's for.
Who is Peggy though?
We'll give her Emma Frost. Because he's gonna blast and she's
But
gonna be like,
Betty's. You're so into it. Betty's Emma Frost because
so you
she
wanted
is Emma
just to
Frost.
reprise the role?
Yeah. It's like all this time I was.
Dang it,
Emma
I thought I escaped this nerddom.
Frost. Toad is what's his name? You know.
Pete?
Yeah. Yeah.
Joan? With Jean Grey?
No. That's Megan.
Oh yeah.
Joan is
the Rogue?
no. Okay, yeah, Rogue. That would make. Oh.
Peggy?
That would make
Iceman?
Sterling.
Iceman?
No, that would make Sterling Gambit.
I'm imagining him like with the gambit thing, and then like his hair like flowy and like the trench coat.
And with the Cajun accent.
Okay, I don't like that part.
Alright, let's end this. Anything else?
No.
People, that was a great podcast. We'll be back next week with the last episode of, or last film in Mel Brooks' filmography. And we'll also talk about the next director we're going to do. But until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, wherever you're listening or watching. Please hit that subscribe button. Please leave a comment. Ivan, we actually have a new subscriber on YouTube. Our first new subscriber in like 3 years. That's a big announcement. But yeah, you can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever.
Deezer.
We'll be back next week with another episode of Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
Peace out.
Bye.
I don't know what to do.
That was it.
We're leaving that, baby.
When you did that, I was like, that was too much. I'm not going to say anything.
I love going a little extra.